Welcome back to the show. Today we are talking in the topic that is quite hot take, controversial, which is AI, artificial intelligence. As you may know, AI has developed it and released once again in a newer version that is quite bizarre. And today we are going to discuss about that with Dan. He's a UI designer, developer, and he works for Super League Gaming. Dan, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. Uh, as Zine said, UI designer. I've been on Roblox for about 6 years now. I'm working at Super League Gaming right now as a UI designer contractor. We have made games such as Imagine Dragons. We have made Main Event, uh, NFL, Chipotle, and a bunch of other branded projects on Roblox that you may seen or played. So yeah, and my nickname on Roblox right now is Zoxian, so more people might know me from that name.
About AI a little bit, shall we? What do you think is the general comment do you have about the AI stuff that is currently going on and in the past?
Oh yeah, it's really evolving. Like I have seen AI for like a couple of years now. It was just, let's say, making a bunch of icons at start. Then my journey, DALI started to appear, and now like the whole Twitter right now is like it's a big thing right now. Like the Roblox icons, like the art, everything. Like it's hard to understand that it wasn't made by artists sometimes, or it wasn't just actual real people on the images. It's a really big take right now, I guess.
Mm.
It's crazy.
As a designer or as an artist, how do you think we should go about this? What mindset should we approach with?
Hmm. Uh, I I'm not particularly like agree with people that say that we're gonna lose our jobs. It's gonna like take all the design stuff, like programming stuff. I'm more of the part that says that it's a good tool, at least right now. uh, about the mindset we should take it with. We should use it.
Mm.
Actually, it's not that crazy enough to like really good for like. Let's start from the topic that it doesn't have emotions. It can make all the jobs that we do as a human beings. Can understand certain parts of the job descriptions, etc. It's a really good tool for us. We can use it in different ways. We can uh, use it as references for, let's say, as a client, if you want to take a hard artist, but you're not sure about how you want the job to look like, you
Mm.
just can go to, let's say, Bing, like write all your thoughts. It's going to give you some reference. You can give it to the contractor. It will make the job better. Same as for artists. Like for example, you have made like 100 commissions, like and you really have hard time to make another one. Like since every commission that you're taking, let's say the render or UI design, have to be somewhat different from each other. It's easy take to just go to Dolly, write down like the tasks or idea you have. It will draw you some good references to use them.
Mm.
So I'm not scared of AI, and people shouldn't be, but it's a really good tool to consider using right now.
Mm.
That's the thing.
But despite that, though, because I feel like because AI is exposed to many other like people, all that kind of stuff, and what happened to that is that the standard bar is set really high now. What do you feel and
Yeah.
what do you think about the beginners that is like trying to struggle or even professional trying to struggle, trying to like earn, you know? What do you say?
Well, I would say that like I'm not sure about right now, but like in some close future, a lot of people will lose their jobs, and I'm talking about like low budget artists or like beginners that just started to educate themselves, like learn how to make, let's say, UI design or renders, I'm afraid that they gonna lose their job. Just AI right now can make it better than them.
Mm,
There is like two ways for them, I guess. It's either get better, learn, uh, practice more, harder to be better, to get on, let's say, on the top of the market,
mm,
or use the AI, like learn how to work with it, how to use it in the good way and still like improve in that way by using it. For like all of us in some time period will use it,
mm,
like even beginners or like let's say seniors that have 10 years of experience, we all I guess will end up using it in some point. You have I guess seen on Roblox right now there's a lot of games that using being created game icons.
mm,
It's a big take right now. I'm not sure how it's gonna be, if it's a trend or people is gonna adapt for it. But yeah, that's the thing. That's my thought about that.
mm,
Us, like let's say for us, more professional designers who got on some level right now, it's not a big thing. We still can manage to get work more creative or better than AI, and with the help of it, it's even getting better and less time consuming.
mm. I agree. So we live in like a community-based sort of era, right? Through the internet. How do you feel like? What do you think about like helping each other out? Like, how do you see this become a thing? Of like, how AI makes competitions more even higher and beginners out there who just trying to get started. How do you think like we can help each other out?
To be fair, I feel like game development itself, like community, is has some habit of hiding things. Like let's say 5 years ago, when like, or 6 years ago when I just started, I had no resources to look at. Like there was nothing to learn about UI design or game design. Like it was just like, oh shit, I need to try this, I need
Mm,
to try that. Uh, oh, it works, nice. Oh, this one is not working. Like it was poor practice, and there was not many places to interact with people. And right now it's evolving. Like you can see on that forum, there's a bunch of resources. There's a lot of plugins to minimize your efforts to work on certain things. There's a lot of communities like HT or like your server, etc.
mm,
My take on it, it's about communicating. You can watch like 100 tutorials on YouTube how to make, let's say, 3D models. But one problem that you're gonna look at, it's like there's not gonna be on internet, but somebody in community probably had the same issue, and he will answer your question. It's more about like communication. We have to be more open to each other, like share things, learn, and it will benefit both of us.
mm, mm,
Competition is a good thing actually. It's makes both sides go better and try to catch more
mm.
top of the skill or other stuff.
Competitions leads to improvement.
Progress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I feel like this one actually reminds me of about the sharing is that Sophie and a bunch of other people who made like rigs that really impact a lot of people. Like all the GFX artists out there are using it, but it's quite actually interesting to be listening to the UI side perspective of the design itself because like I work in the field of like graphics FX, right, but never really seen a perspective of like UI designer before, so that's quite interesting. The other point that you pointed out earlier about how AI can be used as a tool of like how we can use it as a reference and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I tried that earlier and I'm currently use it for the my current project right now that I'm working with. And what insight that I got from trying it is that I feel like it's similarly to how Google search work, but like on steroid. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
it's like it basically functions the same. So it's like you are trying to search that picture, that exact picture that you think like it's going to be the best reference for it. But now AI just helps that workflow easier. So I feel like AI can be a job. And interestingly, like today, you know, as you guys know, I'm currently studying in a design degree. So I'm in the design school, and I asked a professor who is an artist and also a former designer. He said that I asked him about the AI stuff, that how it's going to influence in the future, and he said we're going to have to use it. Like either way, it's going to be a tool for us to use it, because there's no way you can like reject it. Like it's just how technology evolves, and we just have to accept and use it in the best potential as possible. He's a program director, and he has a plan of like he's trying to making a course that will teach you how to prompt the best AI prompt. You know what I mean? Learning about the traditional way and the theory, the principle will help you generate a better prompt. He said that. So that's quite interesting insights that I have today. So,
That's that's actually a new profession. You
mm,
know, there's a bunch of people right now on some freelance marketplaces who just like getting paid for making good prompts
yeah,
for
actually,
like
exactly.
different aspects. Like it's a good reference to mention, like let's say BlackBerry when iPhone just released with their like screens, like it was evolution. Oh shit, revolution. And BlackBerry didn't understand it. He thought like it's just some trend, like nobody is going to use it. Actually, just a toy for a year, and it ended mm, almost bankruptcy. And iPhone is like Apple is on top of the world right now.
Mm,
And we have to consider it. Like we have to use it. It's gonna be, as I said, for a big part of our community, it's gonna be a threat. But people who actually will able to adapt and use it in the best way will still stay and will even make much more money with much less efforts than we used to. Like even right now, it cuts like half of your work. Like for me, it was like 6 hours of looking for references to make a
mm,
design, and now I can just generate it in 5 minutes. Like that's the thing. It's basically saves our time.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
a win-win both sides for client or for us.
Mm. I think like the whole AI stuff that we are trying to approach is approach it with a growth mindset, right? Approach it with like, yo, this is the tools that we have to use, and we should get used to it and use it as a tool
Yeah,
to the fullest potential as possible. And actually, like the whole conversations brought me back to the thought of like, you know how back in the days painters only paint. If I remember correctly, it's after like post World War II or something. The camera became more of a thing. Like I remember the,
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
know, the Jackson's Pollock's painting, like that blowed off because of the camera that came into play, because he broke the norm of like painters that who paints like realism and still life, all that kind of stuff. But Jackson Pollock, he just paints like just splashing painting, if you know him. So I I I, I believe like art has some movement that it can evolve more than that. People will find their way eventually. I think back to the AI stuff, like it also reminds me of how website actually works. You know how website back in the days, like there's a lot of like borderlines between people who can create it and people who can't. Because back in the
yeah, yeah,
day,
yeah.
when people want to create a website, they have to ask a software engineer to actually write a scratch of like website from HTML, CSS, JavaScript, other kind of stuff to create a website. But nowadays you can create it with what? Wix, Weebly,
Basic.
no,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
vice versa. Yeah, there's so many things out there, so many things out there that can help you as a service to provide. But let me ask that question again. So even though software engineer, these sort of service provided a quicker, easier way to create website, do software engineers still have their jobs? They do, right? For my website, I actually asked my brother, who is a software engineer, to write it because like I feel like the website that the services provide doesn't really provide that uniqueness, provide the brand and provide the customization. I feel like when you ask a person to do it, obviously like there's so much more customization you can do because like you create it from scratch.
Yeah, right now it's like I would say so. A lot of people who was not able to, let's say, make games, they will have a chance to develop it. And like, let's say, if some time before it was like you have to learn building, like, you had to learn like scripting, you have to learn how to manage the analytics, all the stuff.
Mm.
And now it's just go to let's say ChatGPT, write down like make me this code, go to Dolly, make me these icons. There's gonna be some tool that's gonna make 3D models soon, or
Mm.
I guess we have it right now. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it though. And like people are basically gonna win in imagination. Yeah. So let's say if everybody is gonna be on the same level of like efficiency, so AI is gonna make like everybody more similar on the skill set, and it's gonna be more about like, oh yeah, I have better idea, or
Mm.
oh I have better way to implement it, instead of like, oh yeah, I have more money to pay better artists, or I have more experience in certain tool to use it.
So
Gonna
now,
change more of the people how they act or how they manage to make things.
so now it's more about ideas than skills, you say. You said the part that, the creativity in the AI prompting. Do you think, do you agree that AI kills the creativity and the fun of creating a design or an art in general?
Yeah,
It kills
sometimes, yeah,
sometimes.
yes,
Mm.
yeah, but it's still like you can get two people to the like same room with two computers, give them like AI, and like let's say they're gonna get much different results. Like some, let's say, some more experience in design. So let's say I'm a designer, and other person is like has no like experience with making something, drawing something, and he's like, let's say, working at McDonald's, some
Mm.
like normal job. The way I'm gonna approach and use the AI tool is gonna be way different than him, because I have like mindset of creating things, more creativity, experience, and more practice in designing stuff, how they should look like, how they should work, and what I want from it. The person is gonna like lack on it. He's probably not gonna have much experience in making it. Like when you make your renders, you have a lot of experience on how they should look to be uh, good for people to look at,
Mm.
people to make them more appealing. And with your experience, you can tell the AI the same way you make
Mm.
it. You can add your style in it.
Even though the AI came into the creative process, we can still use the former creative process that we have to apply it to AI to eventually to get more interesting look to the result itself. Is that what you said?
So
Mm.
it's not parts like it's not breaking the creativity from you. You still have to adapt and use some of your brain to make it look good.
Mm.
But yeah, I would say it's not that fun to actually go into software and make your imagination, like the picture you got in your mind, into reality. That's the
Mm.
sad part.
Okay. One last question that I would like to ask: do you consider AI as an art?
No,
No.
hell no. Uh, the you know actually, what is art? That's the really hard question that people used to ask from like for centuries.
Mm.
Because uh, before, like let's say when the cameras was invented, art was like the best art was the one who was able to get the most realistic picture of the life. Now it's more about like emotions or let's say the thoughts of that artists try to put in it. Like you can see a lot of modern art just like some gloves of the
Yeah, yeah,
painting
yeah.
the on the art itself, and people still consider it art because it has some idea on it, etc. I'm not sure if it's gonna be good with the AI, like if they work with the AI. Yeah, you can make it to work in a certain way, like it can represent your thoughts, but after the point when artist is not particularly even working on it or contributing on the art, I can accept it as an art. So
Mm. It's quite
because
interesting
the
about
one
the.
who drew it, who made it, yeah, sorry for cutting your word, but like even the one who drew the art, who made it, it's AI, it's an algorithm. I'm not sure if algorithm can be the artist. It has no emotions whatsoever.
Mm. I think this is quite interesting thing to talk about how in the past and in the present and in the future as well. Because in the school that I'm currently studying on, right? They also teaches you about the past of the design and art in general of like from caveman painting to like the modernism and all that kind of stuff. And what actually is quite interesting is that art from the caveman day to this day, it's not the same. Like it depends on the cultural, aspect of what art actually defined as because the culture itself define arts.
Human being can make a new style, new thing. We can invent new things, but AI can't. That's
Mm.
to look at all the references. Without references, AI is basically nothing. It's part of the code.
Mm. Actually, I feel like AI, how it works, really mimics the human's behavior because like we as a designer itself, we tend to look for things and we look for the library of things and then we tend to make like visual library as we can say like visual library to look back and take it. But AI, it's like that on steroid. That if you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean. So
yeah.
yeah. So Dan, well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and it was a nice conversation. And I think we all did get a lot from each other today, and people who are also watching this. Where do people can find you, Dan?
Oh, there's my Twitter, actually. It's Zoxan Time. Oh, sure. Zoxan T. Uh, you can find me there or add me on Discord if anybody wants to ask me some questions or particularly talk with me. I'm always open for some discussions.
Mm.
It was nice to talk with you again. Nice to meet you in person.
All right, nice to meet you too.
And thank you for this opportunity. It was fun.
Thank you very much. Thank you again.